are you, Patrick?
I'm good. How are you?
I don't feel too great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why not?
I don't know. I got my hot tea though.
That's
Oh, Patrick, do I look fat?
fine. No.
I think I just need a shave. No, I look. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, a nice shave does everyone wonders.
My hair looks kind of weird.
It's just shaggy.
Yeah, like the shaggy dog. No, you know what I look
You're
at?
an Asheville Al.
I look Southern Slavic. That's what it is. I look like a Southern Slav. Even my posture, like laid back. I think I got bigger though, really wide. Just gonna put the camera in the middle so it looks like we're staring at the middle. No, that's kind of weird. It looks kind of weird if you. It doesn't look good. It looks weird. Was this how it was before?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just gonna make the wideness this thing. Yeah, so this is much better because then we're not looking directly at the viewers.
I suppose. I don't think they mind.
Oh gosh. Who is your favorite Democratic running candidate of 2020?
Like for president?
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Why did you like Bernie?
He's got good policies.
What's your favorite policy of Bernie?
Universal health care.
Okay. Who is your least favorite Democratic running candidate?
I don't remember all who ran. Like there were a ton of people, just because like the field was open.
It was Kamala Harris, Beth.
Kamala Harris ran for president.
Yeah, she did.
Tried.
She had a really awkward event where Biden was talking about school busing. No, she brought up school busing and stuff. And Biden was like, she was like, it was your friends, and you who supported the, segregated busing, And then he's like, well, it was there were sacrifices. I think he said there were sacrifices. Well, what he definitely should have said was, there were sacrifices that had to be made in order to be in politics. Maybe change is gradual. I think he started saying about how he put in civil rights, he supported civil rights legislation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she was like, the buses, how there was the girls that, after segregated busing was ended, you'd be a black girl and you'd be alone on a bus full of white kids. I was one of those girls. And then after she said that on her website, there were t-shirts immediately available that said, I was one of those girls. So it's like, she had this whole thing planned out. Like, she's going to bring out civil rights, attack Biden because he was the most popular candidate at the moment. And she was going to say her line, which was, I was one of those girls.
That's really.
Who else is there? Okay, Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I know. Amy Klobuchar, I know.
Yeah.
Obviously, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. There was Marianne Goldstein or whatever, or the person that was like in a New Age, I think.
Yeah.
Marianne Williamson. She talked a lot about evil forces, and praying against Trump. And there was I want to say Andy Wang.
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. Yeah, there we go. And Tulsi Gabbard.
Did Tulsi Gabbard put in a bid to run for president?
Yeah,
Okay.
she Kamala Harris, I think, was winning. I think she had become the most popular. It's like, she was doing well, and then Tulsi Gabbard was like, "What about that time? Someone asked you about you were talking about weed legalization. She was, I think, Kamala was talking about weed legalization, and Tulsi's like, "What about that time when someone asked you like how a lot of people were going to jail because of you because you were sending people to jail for drug possession, for weed possession, and you just laughed or something like that, or it was like you had someone brought up the fact that you had been smoking weed and you just laughed. Anyway, after that, Kamala was no longer in the running.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess then my answer would probably come down between either Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden.
That makes sense. I thought Amy Klobuchar kind of had like a nasty look to her.
Like, I don't know. That's just the way she. Amy Klobuchar, I don't think spent enough time in the running to really make an impact. But like, as far as I can tell, her policies were like, fine. It's not like she was doing anything bizarre like Elizabeth Warren trying to claim a Native American ancestry, or like just flat out being like, only centrist policies so that we can get as many people to vote for us as possible, like a Biden.
Yeah, there was a conspiracy theory that there was a conspiracy. I guess that's what made it a conspiracy theory. There was a conspiracy to have a whole bunch of people quit on the same day in order to weaken Bernie Sanders and prop up Biden. I remember I was telling people on Facebook that Bernie wouldn't be able to win, that Biden had a better chance of winning than Bernie against Trump. And they were like, "You're crazy!" It's fine. If the screen gets dark, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I think that's a interesting point of contention. Obviously, there's no it came down to Biden and Trump, but seeing Bernie versus Trump would have been really interesting. I think a Bernie in 2016 versus a Trump in 2016 would have been a slam dunk for Bernie. In 2020, I don't know, it's hard to tell because basically you had a lot of people between 2016 and 2020 that either on the right softened up, on the center right sort of softened up on the idea of Trump as president. There were a lot of people that just a lot of people didn't want to be president. Some people sort of softened on it because they're like, he's a president and the world didn't end. And then a lot of people on the left hardened up against Trump.
Yeah.
So on either side you had a lot more people sort of I don't know, it would have been interesting to see a Bernie versus Trump in 2020. I also think Bernie never really had a chance in 2020, which kind of sucks, because obviously in 2016 he was the populist candidate for Democrats.
Yeah.
And had a very strong opportunity.
What does populism mean?
Populism means that your policies are meant to have broad appeal.
So what does populism mean in a democratic society? Because
giving people the right to vote. And I mean, the broadest appeal is really to just kind of put everything up to a vote. That would probably be the broadest appeal, but some people don't. I guess people would prefer to have a president who says they can make things happen as opposed to being we're going to introduce a vote for all these things.
I see.
Which would probably I don't know, might be a better idea, but I guess in Greece they would do that. But in Greece they would walk through the streets with a rope with paint covered on it, and if they touched you, you would have to go to the town hall and vote for what they were going to do that week. I don't know, maybe there's a logistical reason that they don't just put everything up to a vote. There's also the idea that a lot of American democratic policies are founded sort of on aristocracy, like the Electoral College exists because the founding fathers thought that average people were too stupid to make the right choice.
I don't disagree.
And it's things like that, and like,
Oh.
you know, it's just as we get as we go further along, you know, is it better to just let people like have their way and let them deal with the consequences of their own actions, or is it better to like maintain that sort of aristocratic origin that, you know, also doesn't seem to be helping a lot?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is you have a candidate like Trump in 2016, maybe 2020, and it's sort of like the anti-establishment candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have people like a certain friend of ours, who I won't mention by name, but who is very much anti-establishment and has a lot of conspiracy theories. Yeah, they don't like Trump.
Is that confirmed canon?
Yeah,
I mean, as far as I know, they don't like any of these
okay.
Period.
So they're kind of like, I guess they're kind of like Antifa candidates, where like Antifa wrote a sign that said "fuck Biden," after maybe it's an anarchist. Maybe that's their position. Their position is anarchy, so they don't support any leaders.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
I guess people like anarchists are they're extremely they're very by the book. You know, they're very big on rules because they have beliefs that they won't compromise for. Think about what I just said.
Well, anarchists are interesting because they're like, their idea is rules without rulers. So like they have this idea that if there's no government, then everyone will sort of just naturally like
follow
like the rules, but like it's sort of implied that there's like anarchists don't believe in universal morality, but they also like through this imply that like everyone has a universal morality that they'll follow. You know, like they think that everyone's gonna just sort of agree on the right things to do, and that everyone's gonna agree that, like, you know, the township should work in a way.
Do you think anarchists would vote for an anarchist candidate? Or would that be against their principles?
You know,
I think that's the question.
When I was younger, my great dream was to form an anarchist party and run under the anarchist party, because I thought it'd be the most like
big tent, most populist party.
No, I thought it'd be the funniest thing to do. Like I really thought it'd be the funniest thing that a person could possibly do. But yeah, I don't think anarchists would be down for that, because that, like, running for office implies a hierarchy, which is against the anarchists.
Do you think an anarchist party would have support just by the name?
Not from actual anarchists, no, but from people who like say they want to be anarchists but are really just libertarians, or like you know, Antifa, I think, fall under that. Yeah.
Do you think like was Trump called the anarchist candidate?
No, because he wasn't an anarchist.
But I think that there was like a name for it. Jamie, look that up. The anarchy candidate. I don't know. I feel like there was a.
Wow, I love how it's such a mystery. They don't even know when his birthday is.
Vermin Supreme's running mate, Spike Cohen, got the vice presidential nomination for Joe Jorgensen. Can you imagine that? Oh. She has a very cartoony looking face. Wow, 1.2% of the national total votes? That seems like a really high number.
Yeah, that is really high for a third party. That's kind of surprising. I didn't know because I think in 2016 when third parties really had like a chance, what Gary Johnson only got like 1.5% of the vote, didn't he? 3.27. Wow. Okay, he was much closer to 5 than I thought.
Yeah, you know who got 5?
The last third party candidate to get 5% was Ross Perot.
Yeah. Wait, why doesn't it say that?
Because he didn't run as a libertarian. Ross Perot ran as an independent.
Oh, okay.
And then he formed the Reform Party and ran under the Reform Party and got 8%. And then after that, I think, in 2000 it was Trump. He tried to run for the Reform Party. I don't think he got their nomination.
You want to hear what's funny is, so there was a movement to do a recall or a recount in 2016 by the Green Party candidate.
Yeah, Jill Johnson.
Yeah, and
these people sound like they have fake fucking names. Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah, and
Jill Stein is her name.
Jill Stein, yeah. That.
Why did I mess that up?
And Trump was like, she's just doing this to fill her coffers, and then the recount never got anywhere.
If I recall, if it's the same recount that I'm thinking of, I think this is really interesting. In 2016, there was a recount, and it found more votes for Trump. Wow. And that's why people didn't really report on it afterwards. But also, like, the same thing happened in 2020 where there were recounts and, like, more votes were found for Biden. And, again, it did not get reported on because it's not really that interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like... yeah, well, like, one thing that wasn't reported on was on January 20th, Inauguration Day of 2020, or 2021. This company released you know that whatever it's called, hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So on January 20th, this I don't know what it was. I think it was on the 20th that they changed their ruling on hydroxychloroquine. Let's see if I can find it. No, I cannot find it. But yeah, something happened on January 20th. I think a drug company came out. This is about December 16th. It's not about January 20th. I don't know, some company came out about they made their own something very positive for hydroxychloroquine came out, but like it was January 20th and Trump, who was like a big supporter of it, was like no longer in the running, so it was just like it didn't really make any news headlines, even though like the headlines before that were like really a lot of like, oh no, this is like a bad, it's dangerous to take this, don't take this, it's like not safe, it's not tested or whatever. But then I guess maybe we shouldn't have 24/7 news channels.
Well, they're sure not helpful.
What would be the equivalent of is there something else that like shouldn't have a 24/7 like news channel? Like if there was like like, because like it's like, well, why shouldn't there be like 24/7 news channels? I think is the question that pops up, and then it's like, why shouldn't there be 24/7 news channels of anything? So what would be something that wouldn't be good to have a 24/7 news channel? Not the news channel, 24/7 channel on like cable.
Well, what are the 24? There's 24/7 news, or not news channels.
Well, doesn't
news channels.
doesn't have to be
news
like
channels.
real.
There are 24/7. I don't
It
know.
could be like 24/7. Like, have you ever heard of LiveLeak? It's a website where like they would post like really recent videos of like terrible things happening, like people dying. So it could be like it could be a 24/7. I don't know what they would be called, but it's just 24/7 hours of like, oh look, someone was beheaded on by terrorists. Here's the video. I guess it would be a news station. It would be like it'd just be videos of people dying.
I don't know. I guess like it's like having a channel that shows news 24 hours a day. I guess isn't a bad thing. It's having a news channel that like feels the need to consistently update stories every second of every day. So
you have to make money. So
well, yeah, I mean that is how they make money. But like it's like if you had like you have like a Nickelodeon or a Cartoon Network, if they play cartoons all day, they play reruns throughout the day. Yeah. Not to say like a news channel doesn't necessarily need reruns, although that's probably not a bad idea. Is to like get the stories of the day and like repeat them on the hour or like every 2 hours, just whatever your cycle of news is, and not stress every.
I wonder if it's competition. Second. I don't know, because like.
I mean, well, that is what like actually happened. Yeah, that's why news stations are the way they are. They get views, which means they get ad money.
Well, so the interesting thing is like, okay, so like, there's several news stations. They're 24/7. So for comedy, so let's think of other genres. There's only like one weather channel. Although I heard it has TV shows now.
Storm Chasers.
There's one comedy channel,
Mm-hmm.
Comedy Central.
Yeah, and they do infomercials for a couple hours every night to make their money.
Well, I'm trying to think of like competitors. Now, Comedy Central, you could say competes with TBS. But TBS comes with like basic cable, I think, and TBS is kind of like. I think TBS has like Seinfeld on it, maybe even Friends. So like TBS, I wouldn't say is like a direct competitor. TBS you could say is kind of like the AMC channel. You know what that is? It just shows old movies from like.
That's the TCM channel.
Oh yeah.
The best channel, I think is what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like just old movies from the
Turner Classic Movies.
So that's kind of like what TBS is. It's like, hey,
That's basically what Comedy Central has turned into. They rarely play their own stuff, and they rarely play new stuff. They pretty much, especially now, like for many years it was just reruns of Futurama, and now it's just reruns of The Office and Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, but I feel like TBS's content is even older than that, I could be wrong, though.
Friends and Seinfeld are from the 90s, but I guess it's just like TBS aims for older people, which makes sense because like cable really should be aiming for older people. There's no logical reason for them to aim for a younger audience. It's not
that's kind of like what Comedy Central does, and Comedy Central's, I think, has a competitor for Cartoon Network at night.
Yeah.
But other than that, Comedy Central doesn't have a competitor unless you count TBS. So there's, there's the Discovery Channel, which is science videos, and then there's History Channel, which is like history videos. There might be an overlap between the two, between Science and History Channel. I know that like History Channel has a lot more reality shows now. I don't know if they have Pawn Stars. Do they have Pawn Stars?
History, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I don't know who like Pawn Stars is competing against.
Pawn Stars is competing against other like general
like
reality shows like that. Like American Pickers, although I don't know if that's on History or Discovery, and I don't like. I know Discovery owns a ton of these channels. I don't know if they own History or not, but like Discovery owns like Food Network and
Okay.
HGTV and Science Channel.
So there's Food Network.
And then there's like, and like they also have these other like slightly more obscure things, kind of like the Boomerang to Cartoon Network.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like Cooking Channel to Food Network.
I see.
There's DIY Channel to.
Oh, but
HGTV.
they're owned by the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing is like they're not necessarily competing because it's the same company.
Yeah. Well, that's
They're-
why they play different content.
Yeah,
Like, completely different content.
and then and then you have so then you have the cartoon channels, which obviously compete against each other. Except
Yeah, like Disney, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network all. compete
except
for the same
except I kind of
audience.
feel like kids are not. That's a bit different because kids aren't like I think when it comes to kids, they like whatever channel comes on first is the one they'll watch.
No, kids get picky. Kids are picky about what they watch.
Okay, so Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
they're in competition against each other, and then you have the news channels are in competition against each other. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupid, but I can't think of other competitions. Maybe MTV versus TLC.
And no, MTV and VH1 would be competitors, and then
Do they own each other? Is it the same company?
I don't think so. But I mean, like, I guess the general thing would be like most TV has turned into you basically have
Yeah,
like,
VH1 owns MTV.
oh, interesting. You basically have like reality TV, and then I guess like fictional TV,
Yeah.
and like these are just the broad categories that compete with each other, which I mean.
Well, so
In general, like I guess it's really just the basic cable channels that all have their news and their nightly programming blocks that are really doing the heavy competition with each other. Because everyone else, it's like you bought the cable package and the channel's gonna.
yeah.
come
So
with
the weird thing is like so you think about non-cable, basic television.
it's just streaming services are competing with each other over any content.
Yeah, but
There's not really like a genre that they're competing with.
yeah, exactly. So when you think of regular television, without the cable included, I think the same thing happens. You have the different channels competing for time slots. For more people to watch their shows. At least back in the day, television isn't as watched anymore. But you have the basic channels competing, and the shows could be totally different. They could be, Lost versus The Office, versus a reality show.
Yeah.
Whatever will get people to watch. But then, the news channels, but then like the channels also have news, there's CBS News, and then there's like NBC News on, on the regular channels. And those, I think, compete like directly, like, which news station would you rather watch versus, the other case is just, different shows. And since it's the same genre, then like the news stations have to compete in terms of news.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it feels like when it comes to television, it seems like the only genre competitions are either cartoons or news. So maybe that's the issue with the news stations, is that they compete against each other. But the thing about the news is that it's just the news. So like, how do you compete? It's like, they have, this channel has better reporting. They have Walter Cronkite. It's like, is that noticeable? It's like, how would Walter Cronkite do 9/11 versus like someone else, and then like the news is just real. Like, see, it's not like, it doesn't require creativity unless you're making stuff up. So it's kind of like, there's like this evolutionary pressure or this survival pressure, not to make the strongest, the best product, but maybe to make the worst product.
No, the push is to make the most sensationalized product, because if you can make it sound wild,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is the sensationalized. Yeah, but that's a bad, like, that's not good.
Yeah, no, it's
The only way, like, it is, like, it's like maybe news is supposed to be boring.
well, one would hope, like, it's not like news necessarily should be boring. It should be delivered, not, like when you watch a news channel, what you get now is you get told sort of the headline, maybe one or two basic facts about the story, and then you get an hour of analysis, which the analysis should not be coming from a news program, because that's not the news. That is someone's opinion about what the news means,
maybe that should fall under false advertising. Like,
it's not advertising.
Well, I'm saying,
like the channel calling itself news.
Yeah, calling it
an analysis.
Yeah,
channel.
so I mean that would be kind of interesting, because like then people would like be like, all right, I'm gonna go watch my commentary channel so I can get like really angry and like feel bad. And I'm not saying that like this is what they're doing. They're getting angry and feeling bad. Like obviously that happens. But what I'm saying is like the person's like, oh I want to get angry and feel bad, so I'm gonna go watch. Because I remember at the gym, I was at the gym in my senior year of high school, and Bill O'Reilly was on, and I had seen like YouTube videos, mostly like I would watch them for fun, like criticizing Bill O'Reilly, but it was just like Bill O'Reilly himself, So for the first time I was watching Bill O'Reilly, and I was kind of like, wow, like this would be fun to watch if like, you wanted to get angry.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to be like I want to be mad at people and be mad about things, and so I was just like, wow, like you can see the it's like Satan appears before you but doesn't deny that he's Satan. It's just like, come, like eat, which I think is like I think that would be interesting if like all the stations did that. So they were split in between news and it's kind of funny. Trump did a speech, I think in Poland or something. I don't remember. There was some speech that Trump did, and I was just trying to find the speech itself without like commentary, and even like on NPR, it's like after every like paragraph, they had to like comment and explain and talk about like it was just like so weird. It's like, can I please
just watch the speech? That's really, that's hard, because that's not, that's really not the point of it. It's like NPR should be offering, like, here, come watch the speech over here. If you want to see us break it down and analyze it, come to this other separate.
But then
the website.
Under this rule, there would have to be two NPRs: NPR commentary and NPR news,
or just being like very explicitly, like showing, this is the news, and like you don't have to separate the company necessarily.
Okay, but maybe they should
have very obviously.
That makes sense. This
program is very obviously the commentary program.
Yeah. Okay, that might be. Yeah, I mean, I guess let's be honest. Tobacco has this product can cause cancer, and that's required by law. So maybe something like. It's Rachel Maddow on the top right. It says this product can cause cancer. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter like if this is possible or not.
Well, it's not that it's not possible. It's that it doesn't get ratings. Like it'd be interesting to see someone like. Well, let's just rebrand CNN as the commentary channel and rebrand Fox as the commentary channel.
I'm just saying, like, if there was a warning, like, before commentary channels, like, this is a commentary channel, you might get internal cancer from watching this show. Viewer discretion is advised. Or, like, something on the top right.
It's just...
I mean,
I like how... In India, they have the scroll at the bottom.
Oh yeah, whenever there's drugs on TV. Yeah, I think that would that might be a good thing, because it would remind people like, oh, okay, this is news commentary. This isn't real life.
Yeah. That would be really good. Oh man, that would.
I mean, I don't think it could happen because I think whoever would push it would be accused of bias. Like whoever in the government tried to make that a thing, and then at the same time, I think there's kind of like a gamble. I think political apparatuses they take a gamble on the news being a thing because they hope that it'll benefit them and the anger will benefit them. It's like Frodo in the Ring, like they would have to throw it into the fire, but they're like, but I want it. It's like, but then no one would be making terrible content for or against you, but I want it.
Yeah, no,
Let's see where we are. Oh, we're at 36 minutes. We should hit what's the best time that would make people want to watch this? Maybe 36:30. It's like, wow, it's not really long. I can play it in the background. Say something.
I have nothing left to say. News commentaries or news channels are a scam. They're commentary channels.
Okay, that's a really good way to end.
Go listen to Frodo.
Do it.